In early 1944, for an American fighter pilot, strafing a German airfield was a suicide mission. The casualty rates were 4 times higher than in air-to-air combat. Pilots who had survived months of dogfights against the Luftwaffe's best aces were being torn apart by ground gunners they never even saw. The reason? The Germans had built the perfect trap. It was called the Feuerwand, the firewall. Every airfield in France was a layered fortress, bristling with 40 to 80 flak guns. But the Germans were smart. They didn't spread their guns evenly. They knew that because of the prevailing westerly winds, airplanes always take off and land heading east, into the wind. And they knew American pilots, following their training, would also attack from the east to get the longest, most stable run down the runway. So they stacked their defenses. All of their heaviest, most lethal guns were concentrated on the eastern approach, creating a pre-registered, overlapping kill zone. When American fighters came screaming in from the east, they weren't just attacking a base. They were flying directly into a wall of pre-aimed, perfectly calculated death. The losses were catastrophic. The 8th Fighter Command was being bled dry. That is, until one man, Colonel Hubert Hub Zemke, looked at the problem differently. Zemke, commander of the legendary 56th Wolfpack, wasn't just a pilot, he was an engineer. And he started collecting data. He studied reconnaissance photos. He debriefed surviving pilots. He mapped every flak position. And a pattern emerged, so obvious it was insane no one had acted on it. The Germans had built an impenetrable wall, but only facing east. The western side of the airfields was almost undefended. Zemke proposed a radical, almost stupid idea. What if, instead of following the textbook, they attacked the wrong way? What if they attacked from the west? His staff thought he was crazy. "Colonel, that's against the wind. It's a cross-runway attack. We'll only have a few seconds on target." Zemke's logic was brutal and brilliant. Dead pilots can't destroy anything, he argued. A live pilot who survives his first pass can come around for a second. He was betting that survival was more important than a perfect attack run. On May 8, 1944, they tested the theory. The target? Oschersleben, a heavily defended Luftwaffe base. 16 P-47 Thunderbolts, led by aces like Walker Mahuran and Robert Johnson, would not be attacking from the east. They were going in from the west. They came in at treetop level, screaming over the western perimeter at 300 miles per hour, before German radar even registered their presence. The German flak crews were in chaos. Their heavy guns, the 37mm and 40mm killers, were all pointed 180 degrees in the wrong direction. By the time the gunners even saw the P-47s, the fighters were already overhead, their 8.50 caliber guns ripping apart the parked German planes. The German crews panicked, desperately trying to swing their heavy, slow-traversing guns around. But it was too late. In the 6 to 9 seconds it took them to turn, the Thunderbolts had already completed their devastating pass and were screaming away, dropping back down to treetop level. The German Firewall, the most lethal anti-aircraft defense in the world, was completely useless. It never fired an effective shot. The results of the raid stunned the High Command. The 56th destroyed 23 German aircraft on the ground. And the American losses? 0. Not a single plane. Not one. The suicide run had become a turkey shoot. Zemke's wrong way tactic was adopted almost overnight. In the 2 weeks before the D-Day invasion, 47 of 63 strafing missions used the new reverse pattern attack. The American loss rate for these suicide missions dropped from 8.3% to just 2.1%. And the number of German planes destroyed on the ground doubled. The Germans tried to adapt. They tried to move their guns. But you can't re-engineer a fortress in the middle of a war. Zemke's simple, counterintuitive idea had exposed a fatal flaw in their entire defensive philosophy. By June 6, 1944, when Allied soldiers stormed the beaches of Normandy, the Luftwaffe was already a broken force, not just in the air, but on the ground. Its airfields, once safe havens, had been systematically annihilated. The perfect trap, so deadly and so logical, was completely defeated. All because one man dared to do it the wrong way.